those are some boilers that are jammed in the river with the mine cart holding them in place. I am at the end of the 730 mine trail. Well, hello there everybody. I'm back on another amazing day, but this time I am back to Silver Plume. I am up here to finish what I started 3 years ago, and I'm already started on the trail. I'm at the first bend. There's the town down below, and I'm just barely starting. Oh, and you got that crazy guys with me. So I'm up here to explore some new areas. So last time I came up here, I hit that tailings pile down below, and I even found a cemetery down in those trees. I checked out that ore bin, and basically I'm gonna change it up this time. I'm gonna go see some new spots and see what I can find. But for now, let's hit the trail and start this gorgeous day. It's a little windy, but that's okay. Let's go. So this is my first major tailings pile I'm crossing by. This was all from pulling a ton of silver out of these mountains. Hence the name Silver Plume. While everybody else was discovering gold, Silver Plume struck it rich with silver. And you can still see the massive timbers that are left behind. Where Bruce is going, that is the way we are going to be going. We're going to go through, around, and then climb up a couple of tailings piles and see what we find. I've been studying maps the whole time before I came up here. You can see some old structures that are still standing, what looks like on the map, so hopefully they still are. Oh, so he's got his backpack on, so that way he's carrying his own water and supplies, because my backpack's already heavy. I'm probably like 40 pounds right now. Mining gear is heavy, but let's go. Oh, this is gonna be the start of a series of climbing up. So I guess I could say that when I first came up here, with a friend of mine about a few years ago. We climbed up to the very top and found an old cabin. I didn't have a good camera, so I never shot any video. The tailing piles kept climbing higher, and I wanted to keep going, but he talked me to start climbing back down, so I think all I did was take a couple of pictures. So this is going to be the start. You can see how massive this tailings pile is. Like, it is just huge. And we're gonna start climbing upwards. So from here, I'm gonna switch to GoPro, and I will see you guys at the top. Alright guys, time to start my climb up. Tailings piles are always sketchy to climb up. Oh, cool. See, they're a pain to climb, but there's so much fun going down. Oh gosh. If I'm not mistaken, that's one of the entrances to the mine. Actually, it looks like it's partially open. Huh. I don't know if I remembering this right, but I swear there was a massive building right here. Maybe the BLM tore it down. That's pretty cool. You know what really grinds my gears? So, there was a building here. The roof of it is in shambles. You can tell there was a pretty good fire from the char of these trees and a fire pit right in front of it. So, obviously somebody was being dumb and decided to have a campfire and ended up catching the whole building on fire. It can withstand time, these structures, but it can't withstand people, because there's people out there who don't care and who just are out here to destroy and take. Oh my gosh, that it pisses me off. There's nothing left of it. It is completely gone. All you see is the remnants of like the ground that's left. People drive me crazy. I see another old wooden structure over here we'll go check out. But damn, what the heck is wrong with people? Right, Bruce? What is wrong with people? You know, I'm not sure what this tiny little building was used for. Am I guaranteed? Storage. I mean, look how small that is. I couldn't even stand up in that. I'm taller than this thing. So, I'm guessing it was maybe a storage area. Maybe for dynamite. I'm not too sure. But well, at least we have something that's still left. Still got one of the both hinges that are still attached, but the door is gone. Pretty nifty. So there is this old boiler that's still standing. It was made by Woodbury, Booth, and Pyor in Rochester, New York. It's crazy, a lot of stuff came out of New York for mining equipment. But no, let's get a look on the other side. So here's some old railing coming out of well, I take it the mine is probably in this area over here. I'm not sure if this cross beam right over here is timber that's part of the portal, but yeah, it's probably completely eroded away. So I'm gonna start up on my next tailings pile and start climbing up, so let's keep going. And of course, got a bunch of old bricks. I found this nice sitting rock when I got to the top of the second tailings pile, and I'm just been taking a little breather. I started looking around and found some pretty interesting stuff. Pieces to probably an old bowl. They're all ceramic or clay, and there's like quite a bit of it down here, so something broke. And I will show you guys what else I have found. Alright, so I'm not sure what this is, but got some holes in it. Maybe like a way to throw it like gold panning, or a pan for panning gold out of the river. Mosquitoes are coming out. And then I found this. I don't know where it came from, but it's a giant like iron structure, and it's pretty hefty. Doesn't weigh a ton, and that's kind of where I'm sitting at. Just taking a breather, taking a moment, and studying my map before I put all my gear back on and decide to move forward and keep climbing up. And then if I don't find anything over here, I'm gonna hit the trail and move to another area that I was looking at. So there's still plenty more to see. Just, I can't believe that about the building. I was even looking at my map, and I went into the satellite image just to see if I was actually in the right spot. I was standing right on top of it, and you could see the picture of the roof. It's just, it sickens me that there's people out there who aren't smart enough to wanting to have a campfire right next to an old structure, and almost ended up lighting this whole hillside up. These kind of places can withstand nature and time, but when you have dumb people that come across, well, as you saw in Silver Creek, some people just don't care, and they're willing to strip these buildings down just to burn them and have a little campfire, when, you know, there's plenty of deadfall around most places. It's not hard to walk off in the woods for a little bit and go pick up some sticks or break some branches. Like, come on now. So yeah, I'm getting ready to hit the next set of tailings pile, and we'll keep climbing up, and I'll see you guys at the top. So I believe this whole path right here was the old mine, and we're gonna go up there through the trees. I only know that because there's a couple of rails that are still coming out. So let's move up and see what we find. I'm tripping over trees, man. If we don't find anything, we'll hit the trail and move on. Excuse me. Oh man. Sorry guys, so we're gonna keep climbing up till these tailings piles ends, and I think this part is all still connected to what's right in front of me. I think he's digging for gold. Yeah, dig my mine, dog. Dig it, dig it, dig it. I'd laugh if he reopened up a mine. I'm trying to teach him about sniffing out the, because all mines put out a distinct odor, and I want him to pick that up for me. He might be able to be my mine sniffing dog. Ain't that right, buddy? Guys, I don't know what, but something just knocked off a bunch of rocks right there. Saw a chipmunk, but I don't know if he is the culprit for it. Possibly. I'm getting pretty remote up here. Whew. Bruce, come on, buddy. Okay, I've climbed up like 5 or 6 different tailings piles, and every time I get to the top of one, there's nothing there, and then there's another one right next to it, so I keep going, and I finally reached to the top. I don't see any more from here, so I'm sitting on the edge of this one, and yeah, I think me and him are gonna start moving our way back down to the trail. It's just, yeah, it's nothing. Go figure. It's all roaded shut. So, well, I'll see you guys back on the trail. This is exhausting. This is what it takes sometimes when you're trying to locate these things. Sometimes I just do some crazy climbing and almost fall and just keep going up higher and higher just to find nothing, and sometimes I find some pretty cool stuff. So yeah, I'll see you on the trail. Alright, let's roll. Sorry. Wow. Ah, no, I lost it. I just saw a shard of silver. Darn it. Which always got to be careful. Here comes Bruce for the slide. Yeah, I'm guaranteed a lot of these smaller tailings spots were probably prospect tunnels. They probably didn't go very far. Alright, I went inside and oh my gosh, there were just tons of spiders just everywhere, crawling all over her. And so let's see, you got the old stovepipe that's still left over, some of the framing for the window is still there. There's some an old bucket that's still sitting on a shelf. And then there's this hole right here that's like slowly opening up. But pretty impressive, and even the door is still there. So here's a closer look of that bucket now. And then there's another old canister. This old platform. And you know, I'm not sure what that it would have been. Some hefty spikes in there. Basically blocking now. I don't want to slide on these bigger parts. This is an accident waiting to happen. Oh. Here's a gated off shaft, but it's completely flooded. You can see the water. I don't know how well it can zoom in. Yeah. It's a huge grate. I'm almost at the trail. We have made it back on the trail. That was killer. So I was holding on to a tree and I stepped on this big rock, which I thought was solid. The rock broke out. I almost fell straight down. I caught myself. That was a little bit of a scare. Pretty awake now after that a moment. So my next treacherous climb is gonna be those two. And yeah, there's an old structure up there. It's hard to hold the camera when I'm holding the leash. This is very far away. Alright, so I am in this whole prospect tunnel, or judging by the door, I'm guessing dynamite storage, because this is right next to another massive tailings pile. So, and they usually would keep dynamite away from mines, store them in a safe spot, so could be. And come out here. And there's Brucey. Probably goes back maybe 30 feet. Oh, there goes another gated off mine. And there's like 3 more up ahead. Ugh. Alright guys, I'm pretty tired. So I bailed out on climbing up to that structure. I just don't have the energy to push that far. And so I'm just continuing up the trail. Excuse me. And we will go to a pretty cool area. I haven't been up to this area in a few years, so this is one of the other big mines that helped Silver Plum out, called the 730 mine, where the trail is named after. So that's the main one. That it's gated off, but you can still look inside. It's pretty cool. It's huge. It's like an endless tunnel. So yeah, I'm trying to get up there, possibly have lunch before the weather comes in, and then try to get down to a little bit lower before it just starts pouring, because the percentage of how much rain is coming is going up. Oh, Bruce is tired too. Ugh. Yeah, those are some boilers that are jammed in the river with the minecart holding them in place. I am at the end of the 730 mine trail. And I'm almost to the 730 mine. That's where I'm going to have lunch, relax for a while before we continue this journey. Oh look, something I don't come across very often, an old ore bucket. Look how massive that thing is. I could probably fit in there. Oh yeah, it's completely filled with debris. Alright. Darn it. Alright, so here it is. This is the 730 mine. I got my 1200 lumen flashlight. I'm gonna try and stick in there. Well, I shone my super bright flashlight in there, and it looks like there's a collapse probably about 100 feet in, but it still goes. You could see I could see a piece of another gate that used to be in place of this mine. It looked like somebody vandalized, and they must have put this one in the place of the other one. But this one was here since last time I came up here, so. Yeah, the owner of the mine sits right over there. He was the one who ran the mine, and had a pretty extraordinary story. He used to sit upon that ledge where his monument is, and he would play his violin, and the people down below in Silver Plume would be able to hear his music from the top of the mountain, and people would describe it as some of the most beautiful music as they've ever heard. Well, he moved away from New York after his wife passed away, and he came to Silver Plume to start something new. So he decided to start mining, and he was I don't know if he started this mine or if he was I know he was the owner of this mine. Well, anywho, story goes is after 10 or so years of mining and living in Silver Plume, one day the people of the town heard a gunshot, and where his monument is, he put a bullet into his heart and dug his own grave, and it left a note asking to lie where he stays. So they built the monument, and he's been buried in those rocks after all this time. Pretty crazy stuff. Alright, I'm back on the other side. So where that river goes is a pretty death-defying drop. I went down the side of this trail about a couple years ago, and I didn't have a good camera at the time, but what I found was pretty crazy. So there's a bunch of old structures that sit on cliffs down there. I mean, it is some of the most dangerous climbing I've ever done in my days. You have to have rope, or otherwise you could slip and fall to your death. I would tie my rope around a tree in a double band, so that way I can pull it through the other side, and I just kept that going so that way I never lost my footing and fell. Well, it started pouring on me when I finally got to these old structures, and these other ones didn't have any roofs. They were completely caved in. And then there was an old house sitting on a cliff. So I hurried up. I crossed the crazy river. I went and took shelter in there while it was just dumping rain, and I found a chicken coop. So how they managed to get up and down, I'm not sure. I'll just say that it was some of the scariest climbing, and I never want to do something like that again. But I'm making my way down the trail, and I will see you guys at the cabin. Well, I'm glad to see this is still standing, but the roof has definitely caved in more since the last time I've been up here. One day this building will be gone, but for now, still holds its ground. I made it. It's crawling all around. Yeah, that was a little rough. Let's see, what time is it? It's 12:35. Took me. I left there at 11:37. So about an hour to get this far, to get this back down this far. I'm exhausted, guys. I'm beat. I have no energy. My stomach is rumbling away. It was rumbling the whole way down. I'm gonna crack into my lunch and start eating because I gotta regain my energy before I hike all the way back down to my vehicle and go back to town and everything. So yeah, I made it to this old building. It's pretty cool that whoever did this, they put some timbers in place where the walls started bowing, and they're trying to help keep this building from completely collapsing, or otherwise it would have already collapsed by now. Somebody built a little fire pit in here. Idiots. I was up here last year and that fire pit didn't exist. I was like, some other evidence that somebody else has made it over here, so what can you do? Well, I'm gonna eat and I'll get back with you guys here in a bit. It's taking a lot out of me to do what I've been doing all day. I've been going at it for about 6.5 hours now. And this will probably be my last stop before before I go back down and finish the hike. The weather's starting to come in. I chose this building because it actually has a solid roof. So if it were to start raining, I'm protected in here. I can put my rain gear on and then hike back out. I want to go check out the mine. If somebody's been up here, they must have tampered with it, so we'll see. Because there's a huge pick stabbed into the wood behind me. Oh, the joys of exploring. So, I've been staring at this ramp that's up here, and it's just so odd that it goes on the outside. So, this is my theory. I'm not exactly sure now. So, they would take a rock from probably a new section in this mine, and they would dump it down in here, and there was probably like a table or a bin to stop the rock, and there would be somebody standing over here, and they would have probably tested the rock to see exactly what they were, if it was exactly what they were looking for, well, that way they could keep moving forward. Well, I mean, it's just, I couldn't see any other reason on why that ramp would be there. It's probably just a work cabin for the miners. Now there goes that little fire pit. I wasn't there last year. And a shank, or a prison file. I mean, a prison file. Sheesh. Get off the shank mo, Nick. It's a filer. Yeah, that's what I meant. No more prison shank jokes. I'm not in prison. I'm not on death row, ready to go. I don't know, but yeah, this whole place is pretty cool. So I pre-made a bench to sit on so I can enjoy lunch and kind of sit off the ground a little bit. I just took 2 pieces of wood that I found lying on the ground, and I stacked one on another, and it works. I'm up a little higher, so well, I'm done. I think me and Bruce are ready to call it quits and start heading back down. I mean, it's been a pretty amazing day. It's almost 2 o'clock. It's 1:40. I've been here since 6:30 this morning. I'm like you've seen, I made it to the end of the trail. I saw the 730 mine. We've seen so much, and went sliding down tailings piles, climbing up so many, finding some pretty cool old structures, and just having a real fun time doing it all. And now I got to make it back down to this old, let's call it the testing facility, or the sampler. Yeah, the sample building. So I made it back down to the sample building and got to enjoy lunch, hang out, relax. I've been here since 1 o'clock, or yeah. I went and checked out the mine. Yeah, it's still locked. But I went and grabbed my really bright flashlight, and I got a better look of the inside, and yeah, it's just flooded. It goes back a long, long ways though. I mean, as far back as I can see. And the airflow out of it is strong. So it's obviously coming from another area. I'm not sure where, but maybe another day. Maybe next time I'll go back up to that other structure that sits at the top of that tailings pile. I'm beat. This is all taking a lot out of me. It normally does. I mean, it wasn't just always being on the trail. It was going off the trail and just climbing constantly, and then sliding, and then maneuvering around obstacles, and making sure I don't fall and hurt myself while I'm up here. So I decided to go as far as I can and save some stuff for next time. And unfortunately, I only come up here once a year, so it might not be until next summer is when I'll be back up here. But I got plenty more to explore. I talked to a group of people that will be joining me for the rappel down the shaft that I found up in Silver Creek. So definitely look for that one. That should be a good one. And then we're going to try and hit up another mine that's completely flooded, so I got to get some waders. That way I don't get wet because this is a massive mine and it's probably waist deep water. It's clear though, water. It's so weird. I never did upload that footage. I even had my camera. Oh, that's just me now. That was last year. Yeah, that was last year when I went there. Oh, it's been a blast. For those of you out there who've never heard of Silver Plume or don't know about the 730 mine trail, should come and check out the town. Come hike the trail. The trail is full of history. I mean, it takes you through so much. It's a 3-mile hike from the bottom all the way to the 730 mine. So, it's been a blast. I'm getting out of here. Bruce is passed out. That's when I know he is exhausted. So he's probably going to sleep the whole ride home, which is good. We're like halfway down. Still got like another 1.5 miles. So probably another hour before I get back to my vehicle. But thank you. Thanks for watching. Subscribe. Leave a like. Big old thumbs up. If you could have done two, that'd be cool. Leave a comment below. Tell me what you think. And for those who do see this and do know the area, and maybe you're able to shed a little more history or information that I don't know of, that'd be great to know. But getting out of here, I've had a blast. It's time to go before the weather comes. I'm surprised it hasn't started raining yet, so it is what it is. Wanted to see a little bit of rain on my way down. I wasn't even going to put on my rain gear. I was just going to bathe in it. Oh yeah. So thanks again, everybody. I'm getting out of here. Have a good one, and I will see you on the next one.